Three practical tips for a good math lesson in distance learning. So I would say number one would be to check in with your students. I love creating check-ins and allowing students to give me again that SEL piece, how they are feeling, but also to know where students are at before we start a lesson. Emotionally, and just, are we even ready for this right now, or do we need to take some time to just chat together and then dive into the math? So a good check-in, and I've got some examples of that. One of my favorites is, if you were the weather today, what would you be? So are you sunny? Are you cloudy? Did a tornado just hit? What do you need in terms of just how you're feeling and how you're ready to approach the day? So a check-in, I think, is really important. I think clear directions. There is so much going on in virtual learning, down to just having a million tabs open. So I think clear directions is really, really important. What are we expecting students to do? And I think that goes along with teacher clarity. So I love having a learning target for every lesson that I'm doing, and having students self-assess that learning target too. Where are they at in terms of the learning? And so again, I think a learning target is really powerful. It goes along with that clear directions, but it gives clear directions to students coming from the teacher. And the more we can craft those as well, the more we can craft learning targets with students, I think it can be even more powerful. And then the last thing I would say is feedback to both the learner and the teacher. So I always want to know after we do a lesson, how did that go? Was that, whether it's a new virtual platform or whether it was just the learning itself, how does the learner feel about it? And also, cognitively, where are you at in terms of the learning? Do you need more practice, or was today engaging? Was today didn't work for you? So how can we kind of work together to make this environment positive and an effective learning environment? So I have a couple examples as well, of ways that I like to incorporate that feedback and really learn from the feedback. And the last question, in my math coaching experience, what is the most rewarding project I've managed to accomplish? So I think actually it's something that recently came out from Edutopia. So it's a strategy called Try It, Talk It, Color It, Check It. And it is a cooperative learning strategy. So a teacher and I developed this actually last year. She invited me to her classroom to take a look at, they were doing whiteboard practice, and students were working, but they weren't really, I would say they were kind of waiting for her to give the answer. And she wanted more engagement, more student voice, students talking with each other, and collaboration especially. And so after discussing kind of what was missing from the class in her mind, we created the strategy, Try It, Talk It, Color It, Check It. So that we had the students, instead of just diving into the math together, we gave them about 2 minutes to try the problem on their own. So this independent work time really gave kids that time to either become confident in their own strategy or to raise questions about the math at hand. And then students, so that was the Try It. Talk It, we had students now talk together, and you could see in the classroom, everyone kind of leaned into their group and really got into discussing the math together. And so in the Try It phase, they were talking together, the Talk It phase, they were talking together, finding their different strategies, and then coming upon their final solution and what they agreed upon. For the Color It phase, once they agreed on that solution, they color-coded the answer. So this teacher had colored cups around her room, and we used those to kind of signal that the red was, we're not so confident, we don't really know the answer or even where to begin. The yellow cup was, we have some answers, we're not too sure, we still have some questions. And then the green cup was, we got it, we're really confident, and maybe we can even share and teach with others. And so during the check it phase, we then called upon usually a green group, sometimes a yellow, to share their thinking and share their solution to the class. If there were all reds, we would then, as teachers, go over the problem together and kind of help clear up those misconceptions. But this strategy transformed her class. It brought that student engagement, it brought that collaboration, it showed confidence levels, and it allowed us, as they're working in small groups, to go around to those groups that we were seeing start to be yellow and red and work with them. So we actually revised that strategy. We kept the flow, but we revised it to work on Jamboard during our virtual learning needs. And so we actually had this published again in Edutopia, and then most recently we did a quick video to kind of show students in it and students working through the try it, talk it, color it, check it phase. So I think that's one of the most rewarding experiences, was seeing this one go from in class to virtual, but two, working with this teacher, we worked through a student-centered coaching approach. And I think focusing on her needs of the students and what she really wanted to see transform really made that happen. And so I'm really proud of our collaboration, our partnership together. And I'm excited for more partnerships like that, where we can, make strategies like this come to life. So that would be my number one math coaching experience. So thank you so much for having me. I'd love to talk a little bit about engagement, SEL, and just some coaching strategies, and I hope you enjoyed it. Thank you.